trying to make a better way. Whole new crib in a better place. Get my people out the hood, we'll see better days. Tell a fan sorry, y'all let them wait. Shit up there like a Saturday. Listen to me how I beat the speed up like a battle.
Yo, what up, guys? This is your boy Kofi with KO Sports Talk, back at it with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about who is going to start this Thursday on a short week against the Carolina Panthers. Will it be Justin Fields or will it be Tyson Bagent? Now, it's been a minute since we did our last podcast, but we're back, we're up and running. But Chuck, just introduce yourself to people who already don't know who you are.
So, what's going on out there? KO Sports Talk land. I'm Chuck Full Damage 1, aka the biggest Bears fan that you know. And welcome to Real Street Sport. Real Street Sports Talk. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
KO Sports Talk. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah.
KO Sports Talk. Where we doing all things Bears, and hopefully the Bears can figure out how to do all things Bears.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, like I said, the Chicago Bears are expected to face the Carolina Panthers this Thursday, November 9th, Thursday Night Football. And it's going to be against the Carolina Panthers. Of course, they're tanking. We have their number one pick. And so far lately, Bryce Young, he's been playing a little bit well, even though it's been kind of like, been a few losses. But so far, he's been playing well. But at the same time, their defense has been injury-riddled. J.C. Horn's going to be out. And one of their top defensive ends, and Brian Burns, is going to be out.
Okay.
And so Justin Fields is day-to-day. It was confirmed by Matt Eberflus this past Wednesday in Wednesday's press conference. And so
pause. I'm not so sure that Matt Eberflus can confirm anything. This dude is beyond atrocious. Nepotism has become a dirty word to me because of Matt Eberflus. And when I'm talking about nepotism, I'm talking about the whole ideology of keeping things in the family, people. Matt Eberflus is hired by his family just simply because he's married into the family. This dude does not deserve a head coaching job or any job when it comes to coaching, to me, in the NFL. So for him to say Justin Fields is day-to-day, I don't trust it. I don't buy it. I really do think that he is trying purposely to use Justin Fields as a scapegoat for his failed experiment as a head coach of the Chicago Bears by kicking him to the curb.
I agree.
Throwing Tyson Bagent out there, who incidentally Tyson Bagent's been playing pretty good. I'm a Tyson Bagent fan, just for the record, y'all. I love Tyson Bagent just as much as I do Justin Fields. But the reality of the situation is this is not a player's issue. This is a coaching issue, and it's showing in the coaching staff. I'm getting ahead of myself. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Hold that thought. But yeah. Like I said, Matt Eberflus confirmed Wednesday that he is. I'm sorry, he confirmed Monday. I'm thinking Tuesday. Yesterday, that Justin Fields is day-to-day, and that he's trying to get a good firm grip on the ball. His hand is good, but they just want to make sure that he has a really good grip on the ball, and to make sure that he is ready to go this Thursday. But like you said, this past Sunday, the Chicago Bears, of course, did face New Orleans Saints, and you definitely did see a lot of the deficiencies, specifically in the second half. The first half, they did play extremely well. The first half, I think Tyson Bagent.
I thought Tyson
the first half, he had two touchdowns. The first half, and his QBR rating was north of 120. But when you go in the second half, his QBR rating was around 40, and he had 2 turnovers, and a fumble that pretty much just costed them the game.
Hey, Coach,
So yeah, go ahead.
answer this for me, bro. I was in San Diego
Mm-hmm.
for a wedding, so I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get a chance to see the entire game. I saw glimpses and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what happened right before halftime? We were driving. We were in the red zone. The game was 14-all.
It was 14
And
up. Yeah, 14
and
up.
I didn't see us complete the third down. So I'm figuring we're kicking a field goal. We're gonna go into halftime 17-14. At that point, I had to cut things short because I'm getting to the wedding and all of this other stuff. What happened, bro? How did we end up 14-all at halftime?
Yeah, so with that game specifically, they decided that okay, I don't even know if because they were trying to figure out, a game plan. Okay, should we just throw this ball or should we just go with it? But with Matt Eberflus, you know how much of him, he's not too much of a good game manager. So he decides, okay,
Not at
let's just
all.
throw the ball. Let's just
Mhm.
throw the ball and see if we can, go for it. But we already know, I mean, of course, Cairo Santos, he's been very efficient, this whole entire season, of course,
Right.
outside of him missing that one field goal. I mean, you should have just gone for it, I mean,
So
it was
what did
kind
he
of
do? What happened there?
um I don't know if I specifically saw that play because I didn't see that whole game,
It was the
but
last play before
yeah,
the end of the half.
mm-hmm,
Before the end of the first half. And all I know is the Bears were in on like the 17-yard line, and we were in field goal range, and we could have went in the halftime leading 17-14. And the next thing I know, when I look at my ticker, we're 14-all at halftime, and I'm like, what happened? I'm still trying to figure that out.
I don't,
Weird,
I don't,
but
yeah,
it's
it's weird.
befitting, bro. It fits with the rest of this year, and how this coaching staff has gone. This coaching staff has allowed Justin Fields to take a horrendous beating publicly, all in the media, all in the press. Look at that man getting
Mm-hmm.
trashed left and right, saying he's a bust, he can't play, and all these other things. And part of it is Justin Fields' fault. I'm not going to say he's had a great year or whatever, but he has not had a god awful, horrible season so far.
Yeah, he was leading the NFL in touchdowns up until the point before his injury.
So I mean,
So he wasn't that bad. He wasn't bad at all.
yeah. And so my $1 million question is, if Fields wasn't this bad, why are you bums allowing him to be castigated in the general media's ears, the public's eyes? The only thing that I can see is that these guys know that they're in over their head, and I'm speaking about the coaching staff when I'm talking about this, because I still think that Ryan Poles has done an outstanding job putting talent on this team, and he's yet adding to that. We'll talk about the Montez Sweat thing in a minute, but this coaching staff is way in over their head. They can't handle what's in front of them. They don't know how to coach Justin Fields properly. They keep trying to retool a guy who's already showed you what he's capable of for an entire season last year, and he showed you when you take the reins off from this year what he's capable of. You're letting the media destroy this guy. You let him just castigate him left and right, and then you throw in Tyson Bagent,
And even some Bears fans,
supposed to be the great white hero that
there's
comes
even some
and rescues everybody.
and there's even some Bears fans who want Justin Fields out of the team. Like, yeah, I mean,
Well, that's fair. That's fair to me from a media standpoint, a media perspective, because they're only going by what they see, bro. They're only going by what's being presented to them. What's constantly being presented to them is Justin Fields is the problem. It's got nothing to do with the coaching staff. It's got nothing to do with Luke Getsy calling the same plays 3, 4, 5 times in a row. It's got nothing to do with the decision making in terms of how they're scheming the blocking,
the clock management, their bad clock management.
It's got nothing to do with Matt Eberflus running this horrid shell defense that he just is in love with. I don't know why.
That stupid cover too.
It's got nothing to do with none of this stuff. It's just all Justin Fields. It's got nothing to do with the fact that Luke Getsy is pass happy with the structure of the offense, and he wants to throw a million passes as though we don't have 3, 4, maybe 5 quality running backs coming out of this backfield. It's got nothing to do with these things. It's just all Justin Fields. If there was ever a man that was crucified publicly, it's this man. But like I said, he's earned some of this. He deserves some of the criticism.
Yeah, but Justin Fields, I do agree. He does deserve some of the criticism because at times during the game, he doesn't read the field very well, and that's part of his problem. But I mean, to me, it's not a problem. It's not a fact of, him holding the ball too long. It's just that some of the game plan that the coaching staff runs for him, it seems like it's just too robotic, and he's not comfortable. Like they don't fit a scheme. They don't fit a particular scheme to Justin Fields' skill sets.
What's scary
they don't do that,
is that
and it's so bad.
What's scary about that, bro, is that they went through this last year. 3 games in, they figured out the scheme, so to speak, to allow Justin Fields to play in. That scheme was just get the hell out the way. And
I don't know why they're going away from him, because last year, after that Washington Commanders game, you saw how well he was playing. You saw you saw the difference night and day from the previous 4 weeks he was playing, the previous 3 or 4 weeks, the beginning of the 3 or 4 weeks he was playing, to after that Commanders game. So I don't understand why they're just going away from it. I mean, like I said, this coaching staff, primarily even Luke Getsy, he's not doing a good job with Justin Fields trying to fit a game plan to his strengths. Look at what Baltimore is doing with Lamar Jackson. Look at what Philadelphia is doing with Jalen Hurts. Like they are fitting a particular game plan to fit their players' strengths. The Chicago Bears is not doing the same thing. And I know you may give credit to Ryan Poles, but Ryan Poles deserves some criticism because he had a part in hiring Matt Eberflus, because
Pause.
He did have a part.
Did he really? Now let's think about this for what
listen.
Let's think about this.
Let me say this one more. Let me say my point. Let me finish my point. Because he did have a part in this, because George McCaskey, he gave him the reins because he allowed Ryan Poles to have the reins on whether or not to keep Matt Eberflus, to keep to figure out the 3 or 4 candidates who they already interviewed. Dan Quinn, I believe it was Dan Quinn, Jim Caldwell, there was another coach, and Matt Eberflus. Ryan Poles, he could have just said, okay, I'm not going to hire you because I don't know if you're trying to kind of fit the game plan on what we're trying to do in order to take Justin Fields to the next level. He does deserve some share of criticism because you got to have the right coaching staff. You got to vet out the right coaching staff, and particularly you had to vet out who is going to particularly take your players to the next level. That's going to fit your players' strength. That's going to work with your players. That's going to mold them and shape them up to be an NFL player. And Ryan Poles, he said that, okay, I'm going to pick Matt Eberflus. You're going to be the right hire, so I'm going to choose you. He could have went with a whole different, entirely new, different coaching staff. He didn't have to choose Matt Eberflus, but he said in his press conference.
That right there, bro, that's where I got to stop you at, though. That's where I got to stop you at. In the media's eyes, in the eyes of the general public, yeah, Ryan Poles took responsibility for hiring Matt Eberflus. But, bro, we come from a world where math has to make logical sense. The additions and the subtractions have to make logical sense. 2 + 2 = 4. That's logical sense. Let's look at the Bears hiring of this regime. They started this all, bro, hiring Matt Eberflus before they ever gave the job to Ryan Poles. Now, Ryan Poles publicly went out and said that Matt Eberflus was his guy. but how in the world can he be your guy when he had the job before you got here? So regardless of what he said in the media's eyes, in the media's ears, regardless of what he said in the general public, bro, he did not hire Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus was hired by his family. I mean, the McCaskies. Oh, I said it right both ways. He was hired by the McCaskies.
George McCaskey.
Who is his family, bro. So the Bears did this entire hiring practice these hierarchy positions. They did it totally backwards, bro. They hired the head coach first, then the general manager, then the president of football operations. That's the order in which they hired them. When it should have been completely the other way around. It should have been your president first, then your general manager, then let them decide on who your head coach is going to be. This is who the McCaskies wanted in place. They wanted to keep this all in the family. They got some kind of mafia mentality. I don't know what it is, why they feel the need to do that. And then
they also said
Ryan
they had
Poles
Bill Polian.
Bill Polian to go publicly and to embrace that and tell the public this was his guy, because they knew that was not going to fly if it was known to the media that this guy was hired by the Bears brass before they hired Ryan Poles in. Ryan Poles was thrown in between a rock and a hard place, bro. He was poised with the cause and the task of putting this team together, but at the same time, he was asked to babysit this dude here. He was asked to babysit at Eberflus and keep him in position. This is the reason why this man still has a job. You see the moves Ryan Poles is making. You see what he did with Chase Claypool when Chase Claypool gave him too much attitude. You see the other coaches getting fired around him. Do you really think he would have kept a guy who's 5-21? You really think he would have kept a guy who's 5-21 as a head coach who's 0-8 against the NFC North, a division that Ryan Poles swore on a stack of Bibles that once we took it, we were never going to relinquish it again? You don't think he has any reason right now to keep Matt Eberflus as a head coach? There's no reason possible that he's got to keep this dude as a head coach, bro.
Yeah, him and Kevin Warren too, because you saw what he did to that Big Ten. He completely turned it around. And also, with the Vikings franchise, he also had a part. They made the playoffs a couple times, they had some success. But going back to that point, with the McCaskies. The McCaskies, they somehow just get in their own way. They're almost like the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Like, the ownership is always getting in the way of the team.
Right.
Like, seriously, I just don't understand. And this has been a problem over the years. Bears fans can always talk about, it's Eberflus's fault. It's Justin Fields' fault. It's this and that's fault. They say, we need to get a new quarterback. We need to draft Drake May and Caleb Williams. Well, if you draft another quarterback, it's not going to solve your problems. I'm telling you that right now, Bears fans.
Exactly.
It's not going to solve your problems because the problem is still going to persist. It's like you're putting a bandage over a wound.
Right.
It's not going to work. You're putting a bandage over a wound that's not going to work. It's not going to cover the problem. It's not going to cover the underlying issues. You might get some of the symptoms, but it's not going to cover the underlying issues of what's going on with that disease that you have. And right now, the disease that the Chicago Bears has is the ownership. It's the McCaskies.
Yeah.
It's the ownership.
Coach, I don't know if you've ever heard of a canker sore. Are you familiar with what a canker sore is?
No, I'm not.
Okay. A canker sore is a type of sore that comes up on a person's flesh and it doesn't heal, or it heals extremely slowly. The Bears brass, they're canker sore, bro. They're canker sore when it comes to this team's success. And you're absolutely right about them wanting to put a Band-Aid over everything, and pretend like all we got to do is bandage it up and it'll get better. The truth of the matter is it doesn't get better. It doesn't go away because they keep on medicating it improperly. You don't bandage a canker sore. There's medications that you have to give to a person for the canker sore to heal, because that means that the wound is not healing from within. The body's not healing itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the Bears are that same way, bro. You know, they keep on trying to put a bandage on a flesh wound that's deeper than just where the wound is showing itself. This wound here for the Bears to get healed from, it requires surgery. It requires a surgery to remove the cancers that's in this organization that's causing this team to fail. That would be Virginia McCaskey. There'll be Michael McCaskey. I believe George McCaskey is in there somewhere. And Matt Eberflus. Yeah, that'd be him too. You gotta get these people out of here. And his entire coaching staff. If they really want this franchise to thrive and be great, they need to go on and give their nephew or son-in-law, whatever he is, something else to do in the family and give it.
They need to take a page out of the Chicago Cubs, because look what the Chicago Cubs did.
Okay.
I don't know if you already heard, but the Chicago Cubs, they fired David Ross. And people, I'm a big Cubs fan. I love David Ross.
Right.
A lot of Cubs fans love David Ross. They were against him getting fired. But look at who they hired.
Since he's been there.
He hasn't done really anything, but look who they hired. They hired Craig Counsell, one of the best managers in all of MLB.
God, that is
and
all
of MLB. And yeah, they said, oh yeah, he's a great guy. You know, he's really done a lot for the city. He's helped the Chicago Cubs win a World Series. Out of the 2020 season, he really hasn't done nothing. But look at what they did. They were not attached to him. They didn't say, oh, let's give him another year because he's a buddy. No, they said, no, let's strike while the iron is hot. Let's act like a big market team and hire one of the best managers in all of baseball. And that's what they did. This is what the Chicago Bears need to do. They need to act like the Chicago Cubs and act like a big market team, act like they care about winning, and they need to cut their loss. They need to fire Matt Eberflus and go after a head coach that's going to help this team, that's going to help this young team, help Justin Fields become the quarterback for this team. Because if you're gonna draft another quarterback, you just, like I said, it's just putting a bandage over a wound, and it's not going to help.
That being said, Kof, who would you like to see the Bears bring in? The Bears brass bring in as a new head coach.
Now, there's a couple of options. I heard that teams can trade for head coaches or something, like specifically like Sean McVay, because of course with that Los Angeles Rams team, Aaron Donald, he's in the twilight of his career.
Sean McVay is interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah, Sean McVay, he's a good, interesting one. Their QB, Matthew Stafford, he's kind of regressed. That team is kind of like going on the downside.
Bro. He's got no.
Yeah. They're kind of going on the downswing of things.
I do like their receiving core. The most
they do have a nice receiving core.
The most interesting name of receivers I've ever heard of in my life. Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell, and
Puka Nacua.
Listen to
Puka Nacua. Yeah. Puka Nacua, man, he's having a record year. Outstanding season too. Some people are saying even Bill Belichick, trade for Bill Belichick.
Oh, that's my guy, man. He's the champ. I'm thinking about Bill Cowher, my bad.
Yeah, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, if we could get Bill Belichick, that would be grand. Only problem with that is Bill Belichick's not coming into any of this BS that the Bears brass are doing. If he comes over here, he wants complete control.
He wants complete autonomy. You're right.
Exactly. For my money, I would like to see the Bears go and take a ride to Ann Arbor, Michigan. We want to find Jim Harbaugh and bring this guy back to the NFL. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh was a former Chicago Bears quarterback. We drafted this guy years ago. Gave him his first starting position.
Yeah, 1987. He was drafted.
And this dude has had outstanding success with the San Francisco 49ers in this league. Took them to the Super Bowl and to about 3 or 4 NFC championship games with lesser talent at the quarterback position than what the Bears have now. You know, he took Alex Smith to the NFC championship game, bro. You know, his defense is off the charts. Guy has a phenomenal brand of defense that his team runs, bro. So yeah, I would love to see us go get Jim Harbaugh, bro. I think.
Oh yeah, I like that too. That'd be a great option.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many options. Another option was that offensive coordinator from the Houston Texans. They were saying he's a pretty good option because the way CJ Stroud, he's been having a good year.
I'm gonna tell you why I have a problem with that, Cole. I have a problem with that because I'm sick and tired of the Bears trying to find upstarts and make them head coaches. Lightning in a bottle.
Lightning in a bottle.
It doesn't strike always like that, people. You're not just gonna keep on going to get a bunch of no-name people and not bring them on board up in here. You know, there are a lot of rustic type guys. They used to be offensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Bears. That would have been great fits as head coaches in Chicago, but the Bears have refused to make a move toward these guys. If they refuse to make a move toward these guys, they're smart players, they're innovative, they have great offensive schemes and game plan, and they understand how to protect a quarterback. They understand how to set it up so that plays are keeping him safe. You know, but the Bears don't want to do that, man. They just want to keep destroying this team. Either move out of town or sell my team. Either way, they need to do something different, bro.
Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. I mean, what do you also think about Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions too?
Another upstart type situation.
Upstart.
I give Dan Campbell all the credit in the world for everything that's going on in Detroit. I don't know that Ben deserves any of the credit for that, bro. I really don't. I don't know that he deserves any of the credit for that. If we got to go anywhere other than an actual head coach, former head
Jim
coach
Harbaugh.
Brian Flores, look at what he's doing up in Minnesota with that defense. You know, they got a lot of makeshift pieces on that defense. They got injuries everywhere. In some kind of way, he keeps manufacturing W's. He keeps helping them get to wins, bro.
And they won the last game with Josh Dobbs.
Right, with Joshua Dobbs. So, you know, if we got to go that way, those are options that we can go to. But I'm just sick of us trying to find lightning in a bottle. We need to get somebody in here that's proven, that's shown you that he can do it at this level. You know, not somebody that you're hoping comes in like a Matt Nagy or a Matt Eberflus with a great offense or a great defensive game plan. Ain't gonna come in and rescue the day for the Chicago Bears at a $29.95 value. It's not gonna keep happening, bro. You gotta go and get somebody that's proven. Now, I personally believe if the Bears brass will get out of his way, Brian Poles will do just that. I do believe he'll do that, bro. I believe he will go after a Jim Harbaugh type. Maybe not that guy in particular, but he'll go after that type of
somebody who's very methodical, right?
You know, but I mean, right now as it stands, this is ridiculous, bro. You're gonna waste the best years of these young players' careers doing what he's doing.
Especially Justin Fields. You're gonna waste his career over here, and people are gonna
phenomenal talent. This for T.O. a generational talent. You don't like when I say that about Justin. You don't like when I say that about Justin. What's up, T.O.? I see you out here, man.
Oh, yeah. What up, T.O.? Good call on the Cubs making that move was already. Ben Johnson will be a head coach next year. What he has done with the line. Yeah, it is. I agree. I mean, I don't know about you. I think he would be a great head coach.
I don't know. See, it's not that I don't believe that Ben Johnson could potentially be a great head coach. I'm just tired of this experimentation phase with the Bears and head coaches. I don't know that he's going to translate into a great head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's true.
Great head coach, I don't know that.
Because look at Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels, great offensive coordinator with the New England Patriots, but he wasn't a good head coach.
I mean, but that's kind of that argument that a lot of people had with Luke Getsy and Matt Nagy and who was the other guy that was over in Denver last year? They got fired after getting that one.
Nathaniel Hackett.
You know, the argument with those kind of guys is look at who they were the coordinators for. You talking about Tom Brady for Josh McDaniels, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes for Matt Nagy. Bro, who has to coach these guys? Anybody could have been standing there and they won games with these dudes, bro. Real talk. So I don't know that these guys are really good coaches or just really beneficiaries of an awesome talent at quarterback to where they didn't have to do much. It's kind of like having Michael Jordan on your team, bro. You know, Michael Jordan was doing his thing. Phil Jackson won 6 NBA championships as the Chicago Bulls head coach. And he couldn't get credit for none of them. Why? Because you got Mike on your team. Nobody trying to hear that you coach.
Yeah, Michael. You had Kobe Bryant
with Michael Jordan on your team. Were you kidding me? You don't need to coach with Michael Jordan on your team. Or at least that's the logic. You know what I mean?
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So that's kind
of logic, yeah. If you were the GM, right, of this team, right, would you, let's say the Bears lose against the Carolina Panthers, worst case scenario, would you fire Matt Eberflus because of course they got that 10-day mini bye?
You really asking me this question? You asking me? You asking me, right? Think about who you asking, Cole. You asking me.
That's the no-brainer.
Yeah. If I was the general manager of the Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus would have been fired after the Kansas City Chiefs game.
Now, this is what I would do. I would go to McCaskey. And I'll have that hard conversation with him. Do you want to run your business like a mom and pop shop? Or do you want to run it like you want to win? Because we got a quarterback. We got a quarterback under center who was one of the greatest generational talents we've had in our history. Would you rather want to keep your brother-in-law because you don't want to hurt your feelings, or do you care about winning? If I were you, I would tell George McCaskey, if I were you, I will cut my losses right now. Find an interim head coach, whether it be Hightower, whatever. Let him be the head coach. And during the offseason, let's go after Jim Harbaugh or a coach that's similar to him, that's methodical, that wants to win, that has a drive to win, that has a game plan for this team in order for us to be perennial contenders, for years to come. Because this thing that we have right now, it's not working. It's a joke. Yeah. It's not working at all. That's the type of conversation I would have with the Bears ownership. I would say, do you want to run your team like a mom and pop shop, or do you want to run it like $1 billion organization? Because the way I'm seeing things, it's not working.
Quite frankly, I believe that Ryan Poles has the balls or the kahunas, if you will, to go to the Bears brass like that. I really do think that guy is built like that. I just think that, he just fell in line with what they were trying to do, in terms of putting things together. And I think they just kind of tied his hands. They forced him to stick with Matt Eberflus as the head coach. I'm sorry, but Matt Eberflus shouldn't be coaching anything. Some people say he's a good defensive coordinator. I don't see that either, bro. I don't see anything from a coaching perspective that this guy is good at. And I really just don't think that he should be coaching in the NFL. There is nothing here that says this guy has a potential to take your team to the next level. Nothing. I don't know what they saw over in Indianapolis, but they should have cut the film off and cut the lights off, or something, bro. Because whatever they saw, it was all a parlor trick, bro. This is smoke screen and mirrors at its finest, bro. He came over here, with some cheap magician tricks, trying to pull off wins in the NFL. The problem is, though, you can't trick your way into wins. You can't trick your way into executed plays. You can't trick your way into a productive team. It doesn't work like that. Teams win because of you, not in spite of you in the NFL. This is not the NBA. Well, Dale Harris, sorry, Lakers fans, but I got to go there.
Mhm.
It's not the NBA where Dale Harris can be sitting on your bench pretending like he's a head coach. And because you got Shaq and you got Kobe and you got Eddie Jones and who else did they have on that team? You got Nick the Quick Van Exel and you got Eldon Campbell. Yeah, all these big-time players. Was Robert Horry there? I don't know if Robert Horry was there. Whoever, whatever great Lakers players you can name, they are all on this one squad. It's not. This is not Dale Harris sitting on the bench and just waiting for these guys to pull it out. That's not what's happening in Chicago. You got a very young team here that's extremely talented. And I still believe Ryan Poles has done an outstanding job putting this team together. And he's not done yet. He's still building on it. He's still working on it. And you're putting this team in an ill-fated position of having to carry a coaching staff to glory. That's not the way this team is built. There's no Aaron Rodgers over here. There's no Patrick Mahomes over here.
There's no Tom Brady over here.
There's no Tom Brady's. There's no Peyton Manning's coming out of that tunnel, bro. This is Justin Fields. This is DJ Moore. This is Khalil Herbert. This is your entire offensive line. This is your defense now with Montez Sweat and Jalen Johnson, which for whatever reason nobody wants to give him credit. But Jalen Johnson, I was reading something earlier when they talk about him having the highest rated something for cornerbacks, but that's neither here nor there. My point is, these are young players that are depending on guidance. And if you don't know where to take them to or what to tell them, what are they supposed to do? Tyson Bagent is a rookie. I love Tyson Bagent. I think he's going to be great in this NFL at one time or another in his career.
People are already starting to read who he is, as they're already understanding that he can't throw it over the top. That he's a quick pass type of guy.
He's smart. He's swift in his reads, and he's pretty accurate in the mid-range game. He's reaching in the short and mid-range game. He's pretty accurate down the field.
But once you take that away with them,
once
you take that away from him, I mean, you're gonna let him. You can beat him deep because sometimes when he throws those deep passes, those are like
wobblers. They're inaccurate.
They're wobbly, and then those can be interceptions.
Yeah, I see.
And that's why they had those 5 interceptions, because the first half, like he was carving them up in the first half, because most of it was just short to intermediate plays. But the thing about the Saints, they were able to adjust. They were able to adjust in the second half.
Defense in the league for the last 10 years, bro. They're going to make an adjustment. Yeah.
They made adjustments on Bagent, and you saw what happened in the second half. They completely melt down. And that's what's wrong with this coaching staff. They don't know how to do that.
And here's the thing I will say when it comes to Bagent, before Bears fans feel like we're throwing him under the bus or something, he's a rookie. So it's going to happen. He's going to take his lumps. It's going to be highs. They're going to be lows. But Bagent still, I believe, has a potential to be starting quarterback one day in this NFL. I love this kid's talent. He's a really talented quarterback, really smart, and he has confidence. He has swagger. And I think you really have to have that if you're going to play the quarterback position at the NFL level, because defensive linemen, defensive ends, they'll torture you if they think they can get in your head. They'll torture you. Linebackers, they'll mess with your mind.
Yeah, if they sense any weakness, they'll torture you.
Yeah, so, but that being said, he still needs a quarterback's coach, an offensive coordinator, a head coach who can help groom him. They can help groom him and bring this dude around. I love, and this is where Ryan Poles constantly gets credit from me, bro. I'm looking at these players, and everybody's crying about, the 2-7 record. Yep. And they're crying about the lack of wins
and the Montez Sweat.
And the lack of production. When I go position by position, I don't see a horrible team. There is talent up and down the roster on this team.
More than last year.
Well put it. Exactly.
And look at what happened. We were playing better last year. This is the thing about how the hell were we playing better last year
with less talent?
With less talent. And we got more talent right now, and we're playing worse.
Right.
That don't make any sense. That's a coaching issue.
As much as everybody wants to just put it on players' shoulders because they look at all these hundreds of millions of dollars that these players are making in contracts, and they just assume because they're making all this money, they just supposed to figure out everything and pull off all the miracles and make everything
all on their own
perfectly. That's not how it happens. If that's the case, you don't need a coach. Why you pay a coach $10 million a year, $15-20 million a year if everything is on your players? You have to have a strategy, a game plan, a grit, and a motivation to put in these players' minds to get them going in the right direction. What does everybody think?
You have to put them in the right line, right position. Like you got to put them, in on the right line, because if there's a wrong formation, then guess what? Y'all gonna get penalized.
What does everybody
think?
Of
inches. It's a game of inches. Football is a game of inches.
What does everybody think was the magic formula last year for the Detroit Lions? They started the season off 1-8. What was the magic formula for the Detroit Lions? Was it that the players just woke up and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm making all these hundreds of millions of dollars. Let me go out here and play some football"? No, that wasn't what it was. It was the intangibles. It was leadership from Jamal Williams, who was the running back who led the NFL in rushing touchdowns last year. And it was the head coach, Dan Campbell, working their minds, getting their psyche right, letting them know, don't count the scoreboard. Don't look at that stuff.
Don't look at the
Keep
record. Yeah.
playing. Believe that you're going to execute what you've been taught and that results are going to come for that. Don't worry about results. It's basically what he was telling them. Keep working at it and you will get better. Those players bought into that. That's why Detroit is leading this division right now.
Mm-hmm.
They bought,
and they're the favorites. They're the favorites to win.
And that comes directly from coaching. What made Phil Jackson be known as the Zen Master for the Chicago Bears, the Jordan-led Chicago Bulls team, was the fact that he got all of them to buy into the same mindset. He got all of them to buy into the same mindset.
It's a coaching issue, Jonathan. It's a coaching issue.
It definitely is a coaching issue. Jonathan, think about this, bro. Think about this. And I'm kind of glad that you interjected on that. When we were playing the Denver Broncos, Justin Fields was playing out of his gourd. His team was up 21-7, and then made it 20. It was up 21-7 going into the third quarter, headed into the fourth quarter. What was it that caused a red-hot Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears defense that was locking everything up for Denver to all of a sudden fall on their face and lose this game? It wasn't because players was not executing. We can't always look at players and say, okay, they're having an off game, and this is the reason why this is happening, or they're not living up to snuff, and this is the reason why that's happening. When you got a game like that, bro, where they're red hot, players are playing out their gourd. Justin Fields is looking like the second coming of Peyton Manning or whoever you want to, Michael Vick, whoever you want to compare him to, bro, and then they lose that game. That's a direct result of poor coaching. No way in the world, bro, should they have lost that game. No way in the world should Luke Getsy kept
they were up 28-7 going into the fourth quarter. 28-7 going into the fourth quarter.
Jonathan,
that's unacceptable.
You do this football thing, bro. What are you supposed to do when you're up 21 points in the second
and going
half of
into the fourth quarter? Going into the fourth quarter.
You're supposed to run the ball, bro. You're supposed to eat up clock. You're supposed to keep it simple. You go smash mouth. You make them have to make a play in order for them to get the ball back, bro. That's what you do. You don't keep bootlegging Justin Fields out because it's been working and it's making you look good on paper and on film. And so you're just going to keep him doing this, Even the weakest NFL defenses, like the Denver Broncos, are smart enough to figure out, oh, he'll keep on doing this. So this is what we're going to do. The next time he do this, we're going to be sitting there waiting on him. That's a direct result of poor coaching, bro. And then Matt Eberflus goes to a shell defense. You've been dominating him. Another great show of blaming the coaches. T.O., you should know about this. I think you've been blaming, who is that, your boy?
Hello? I think you froze.
Your boy, what's it?
You kind of froze for a second. Oh, what's going on? But like he said, just Chuck's thoughts. Chuck was just talking about
what What's the Green Bay Packers head coach name, bro?
Matt LaFleur.
You've been blaming your coach, Matt LaFleur, for the last 4 or 5 games for your team coming out flat in the first half of games, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me coaching is not to blame. You guys sound ridiculous.
You guys sound stupid when you say that. Seriously.
How's coaching innocent in all of this? You got to be kidding me, man. You watching what these teams doing? Are you really watching the Bears and what they're doing as far as offensive execution and defensive play?
Because last year we were not this bad. Last year we
nowhere
with
near
the last 10th,
we were
nowhere near. So you can't just blame just the players, because right now we got the talent. Ryan Post put the talent there. We got Montez Sweat. We got what's his name?
Nobody can deny that DJ Moore is a number one.
Ngakwe. We got Ngakwe. We got Andrew Billings. Like you got talent.
Nobody can deny that DJ Moore is a top 10 receiver in this league. Nobody can deny that.
And the last two games.
Mm-hmm.
Look, let me read the last 2 games. DJ Moore has what? 4 receptions the last 2 games. That's not his fault. That is coaching. That is on Luke Getsy. That is on Matt Eberflus not devising a game plan to get the ball to one of your best receivers.
Mm-hmm. Cole Kmet had a breakout year last year. Why is this guy not always in the end zone being targeted when we get down in the red zone? Him and DJ Moore, they should be getting lit up they should be getting littered with passes in the end zone.
Jonathan, yeah, I get it, but it's also the coaching to put their players in position in order to execute those plays. Yeah, it's like
play designs have to make sense.
The play designs have to make sense.
If you go, Jonathan, do me a favor, bro. Go look at QB School. I know you know who I'm talking about. JTL Sullivan, I believe is his name. Go check him out, bro. Go look up the games
and
he broke down Justin Fields. He will show you the horrificness and the horrendousness of the play designs. He's talking about how this doesn't make sense. The Bears got 2 receivers running the exact same route in the exact same place. This stuff is confusing. They got the blocking schemes where the chip blocking man who's supposed to be helping on the outside of Darnell Wright, he got him undercutting Darnell Wright coming to the inside, which is taking away his lunging steps so that he can get out in front of the defender, edge rusher who's trying to come around the edge. Bro, this is poor play design. So you're going to have a lot of poor execution when plays are not designed properly, bro. We're not going to excuse no coaching. I don't give a hell how much money players are getting paid. I don't give a hell how many times we want to blame players because they're the talent on the field. That's great. You still got to put players in position to win. Look at Antonio Pierce over there with the LA Raiders. That man's coached 1 game, and in 1 game, he's accomplished everything that everybody in in Las Vegas wanted Josh McDaniels to accomplish with this team. In 1 game, that team looked like a totally different squad when Antonio Pierce got a hold of them and he became the head coach. Y'all not going to sit here and keep telling me that this head coaching is not the issue. That's BS.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, I mean, you just hit the nail on the coffin. I get you see, sir. I don't always look at a QB's. I watch all 22 by myself. I mean, you can watch the all 22 by yourself, but you got to understand who's executing the plays. I mean, the offensive coordinator has to see the whole entire field. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we're also criticizing some of the players, but
absolutely.
We criticize the players too. We get that, Jonah. But at the same time, you also got to look at the coaching, because based on your argument, it seems like you're blaming more of the players and not looking at the coaching. The coaching is the main issue. Like I said, last year, we were playing way better with less talent. Way better with less talent. You cannot tell me that this team that we have right now, you cannot tell me that it's the player, it falls all on the players. Because last year we were playing way better last year than we are this year, and we have way more talented players. Like I just showed you, the last 2 games, DJ Moore had 4 receptions the last 2 games. Our best receiver on this team, that should never, ever happen. That should never happen. It's coaching.
That's a
because
direct result of play design.
that's direct
and not
result
to
of
cut
play
you off,
design,
Coach.
direct result on Luke Getzey and this coaching staff.
And not to cut you off, but Jonah, the only reason I referred to QB school, bro, because I know you're a historian of the game. I know you're a researcher. I know you be on your game with this, bro. The only reason I referred to that is so that you could hear his breakdown of these play designs. Not to necessarily teach you the game, bro, but to show you why it is seen. And this is a dude, JT Sullivan, who done played in the league, bro. He used to play in the NFL, bro. He breaking these down, and he's pointing out the horrendousness of these play designs and how these play designs are putting our quarterbacks in untenable positions, bro. This is how they ended up with some of the sacks that they ended up with, bro. With indecisiveness with the passing. I was wondering why Justin Fields was holding on to the ball for so long. Well, when JT Sullivan got to breaking all of this down and showing how the play doesn't make sense in terms of his design, it made sense then. When you're looking at two receivers in one area, who do you throw the ball to? Now you're forcing me to stop and think, who am I targeting here? When in all actuality, the play should be designed so that you already know who's going to be where, and you can release that ball without looking, bro. This is what no-look passes came into play, because when plays are designed properly and quality quarterbacks are ready to make plays, they don't have to see where you at to know where to throw it. That's all I'm saying, bro. But that's the only reason I referred that to you, bro. I know you know your stuff, but I'm just saying, bro. Check him out, man.
See from
Check
a
him
whole
out.
different perspective.
Down,
this guy, he's actually played in the NFL, so he definitely knows what he's talking about. Tim Jennings knows what he's talking about. JT O'Sullivan knows what he's talking about, because they've been around the game. They've been around professional sports.
They played in it.
They've played in it. They've played in it. So they got some credibility. Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, we know you played. We're not taking anything away from you, but this is from a different perspective, from an actual former NFL quarterback.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Joni. We're not exonerating the players of any accountability.
Yeah,
players got to execute.
They got to execute.
I agree with you. You got to get on the field. You got to
make Velus Jones. He got to go. Velus Jones. He's got to go.
Even when plays break down, or even when they bad designs, I'm with you, Joni. Players still got to make plays. You got to make something happen. This is where Justin Fields' feet got to come into play. He did a lot of that last year. Plays was breaking down. Nobody getting open. Stuff wasn't working right. Boom, let's take off. Let's make a play with our feet. So I'm with you with all of that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is coaching has a big. They are a big reason why this Bears team
they're a big reason
is in the turmoil that it's in right now. It's not that these players aren't buying in. It's not that they're not working hard. When I look at this team, I see a team full of players who are really striving to execute everything that's put in front of them, bro. But you're not going to tell me Tremaine Edmonds all of a sudden became a bum when he came over here to the Chicago Bears.
He's a two-time Pro Bowler.
This defense has been atrocious, but TJ Edwards is second in the league in tackles.
Right.
We're not talking about no slouches here. Jack Sanborn led this defensive linebacker core last year, and he's out here. Don't tell me he didn't forgot how to play the position. These dudes can play ball, man. That's not our problem here. Our problem is the positions they are being put in. You don't want to keep dropping this defense back in a cover 4 shell defense, asking them to keep making plays when you keep giving 10, 12 yards underneath the shell. What are they supposed to do? Justin Herbert was out there with like it was pitch and catch practice at practice going against the Bears before Matt Eberflus finally discovered, hey, you know what? We down 24-7. Maybe I ought to put some pressure on this guy. Let's blitz him. Look at what happened after he started getting blitzed. Man got 6 points the rest of the way. Why did it take you to give this team a 24-7 lead before you realize that? It's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
It is. Yeah. I mean, like I said, and like I said, like the coaches, they put it in the players' ears. They put in the players' ears to figure out what type of position they're going to be put in. Okay, if you're going to run a cover 2 or cover 0, okay, I want you to run it. They tell them specifically. They tell these players specifically on where to go, what positions to be in. If they got to play 10 out, if they got to play man-to-man, if the cornerback's got to play man-to-man, if we're going to rush for, if we're going to blitz. And so, yeah, the players got to execute. But like we said, it's the coach's job to put them in position to succeed, because they're essentially like the puppeteer. and the players are the puppets.
And Coach, let me add this too, bro. We always want players' talents to supersede all of the mistakes of coaching. If these players go on their own and decide, you know what, I'm just going to do what I believe is best to do, then the organization is going to call them rebels. They're going to say they're not listening. They're undisciplined. They're not listening to the coaching staff. They can't take direction. They can't control themselves. They're out of control. This is what they're going to say about them. This is what they're going to say. Everybody's going to go to Chase Claypool route then. Because, you know, Chase Claypool, he don't want to listen to them. He don't feel like he's being used right. He's speaking on this. Now, all of a sudden, you know, Chase Claypool is no good. So you got to get rid of him. You know, they're going to go the Cam Newton route. He's untenable. He's uncoachable. So make up your mind. What do you want these players to do? Do you want these players? Do you want these players to? You want these players to listen to the coaches, or do you want them to just do their own thing? Because if you want them to do their own thing, they can do that. They can do that. I just think it's not fair to these players, excuse me, to ask them to listen to coaches, execute poor play designs and poor decision making by coaches, and at the same time tell them when they realize that this crap is not working, they just come out here and rescue the coach and keep his job for him. Make your mind up. You either want them to listen to the coach or you don't. What are we doing here? I'm gonna tell you this: if I'm the head coach of the team and you can't listen to me, you can't play on my field. And I'm pretty sure other coaches, including Matt Eberflus and other players on his, other coaches on his Bears coaching staff, feel the same way. So
and we know the players are listening to them.
We just leaning on our talent and saying screw the coaches, or are we turning around? Are we turning around and listening to the coaches and trying to execute the crap that they put in front of us?
Exactly.
Real quick, Coach. I see Gio trying to get us back on point here. The Bears Panthers preview. I really got the Bears dominating this game since we talking about, you know, since we started the show, and that's what we're supposed to be talking about. I got the Bears dominating this game. I get the eerie feeling that Justin Fields will not be playing in this game yet again. Matt Eberflus seems to have it in for him. He seems to want to make him the scapegoat, even though his coaching in itself is atrocious, and it's reason enough to get him fired. But you know, everybody always tries to have a scapegoat. But I think the Bears, talent-wise, I think will be the more dominant team on the field. I don't really see what the Panthers can do to hold us back with any form of attack that we choose to go.
And they got so many injuries too. They're dealing with so many injuries right now.
Yeah, and Bryce Young has been noble in his inaugural, year as quarterback. You know, he's put up a heroic type of effort, but I think he's just way in over his head. It's just not enough around him, bro. It's not enough around Bryce Young.
He doesn't have a good offensive line. He doesn't have. I mean, he has some decent weapons, but
I mean, really Adam Thielen is his best weapon on the team, and taking nothing from Adam Thielen. I love Adam Thielen. I just don't think he's enough. I know he's not enough, for Bryce Young to be able to thrive in the field. I'm really surprised that they were able to get the win that they got against Houston, because Houston had been playing lights out.
They have
C.J. Stroud and that crew over there.
In that last game, C.J. Stroud just completely went off against
shredded. He just shredded.
Completely shredded.
That was ridiculous what he did at Tampa Bay. But I got the Bears winning this game, probably something like 24-7. I'm thinking that's where we end this game out. And it doesn't really matter who quarterbacks, but I believe it's going to be Tyson Bagent. I just don't trust Matt Eberflus when it comes to Justin Fields at this point. I really feel like he's trying to make this dude to be his scapegoat, just like Mike Shanahan did over there with the formerly Washington Redskins.
Because I mean, like I said, this is one in my life. I don't know about your lifetime, but this is one of the worst coaching staffs I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Mark Trestman looks like a genius compared to this.
Mark Trestman looks like a genius. Matt Nagy looks more competent than what we have with this coaching staff.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on with Allen Williams and with that running back coach, it wouldn't put it past me to see this Carolina Panthers beating this team
And Coach,
this
let
Thursday.
Me not to cut you off on your point, but I'm gonna give you the floor right back. Let me add this too. Everybody talks about players being the issue. Players not executing. Players not doing this. This is what the problem is with the Chicago Bears. Proof is always in the pudding. Look at where all of the firings, the disciplinary actions, and what have you are coming when it comes to this team. Is it going to the players? No. You had one episode with Chase Claypool, and they got him out of here expeditiously. But look at what
Justin Fields saying, "Oh, I'm playing robotic."
Yeah. First, Justin Fields' indictment on the play calling, the retooling of his skill set by Luke Getzey. Then you turn around, Alan Williams has to resign under the defensive coordinator. He resigns under a shrouded cloud of mystery. Nobody know what was going on and why stuff was happening. With all of this stuff coming out now, one person saying something about child pornography, the next one saying FBI investigation. Peanut Tillman, thank God he's an FBI agent now, blew the cover off of that and let everybody know he was not under any FBI investigation. The Chicago Bears organization was not under any FBI investigation. Then who's the next guy to go? Your running backs coach. He's getting fired, under whatever guise or reason that they have there. If the issue is players, why is all the execution of judgments and firings coming to the coaches? Because, wait to break the news to y'all, it ain't the players, it's the coaches. That's what the problem is. That's why you're seeing heads roll there and you're not seeing them roll nowhere else.
Yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe for this channel so you can get all content. And also make sure to hit that notification bell. But before we end this point, like I said, back to my predictions.
Okay.
It wouldn't put it past me to see this Carolina Panthers team beat the Chicago Bears team because this team is always finding ways to lose. Look at Matt Eberflus's record. He's 5-21. And out of those 5 wins, right, it has come against either a backup quarterback or a first or second year player. Okay. Look who he's won against. He's beaten Trey Lance. Where's Trey Lance at?
Third string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I just found it out.
Yeah, third string quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. He beat Davis Mills, who's a backup to CJ Stroud. He's beaten Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Freaking Mac Jones, who
is an NFL bust.
You've beaten the Washington Commanders, who are in influx. Sam Howell and Ron Rivera, who might even get fired after the end of the season.
He should have been gone too.
Who should have been gone too. And then you beat the Raiders, who started a 38-year-old way past his prime quarterback.
Was that AJ McConnell? Is that his name?
No, Brian Hoyer.
Yeah. I thought they had that Connell dude in there. Oh yeah,
they had that rookie. He came later on.
Picks. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But you're beating nobody is the point.
Yeah, you're beating nobody. But like I said, man, this team, it's like this is the worst coaching staff I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. Maybe even yours too.
I'm gonna just say this to brothers like Jonah and T.O. and others and Don Burr and others that's out here talking about this. If the Bears get another coaching staff with this team, mark my words, you heard it here first, you will see a marked difference in production, success, and overall team chemistry and execution. You will see a marked difference. It doesn't take much. This is not rocket science, bro. This is not rocket science. All it takes is for people to design, to send the right plays out there, design the right play calls, understand the talent that they got on the field, and let it work. How you go from letting Justin Fields, who was on a 3-14 team last year, and actually was in a conversation for an MVP from a 3-14 team, and actually got a vote from that? How do you go from that to all of a sudden
and was in the top 100, top 100, mm-hmm.
and you're in the NFL, and now you're containing him and changing him and telling him to play like Aaron Rodgers and do things different? Why do you change that? That doesn't make any sense, bro. That's poor coaching. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for coming. We're way past the mark, but I'd like to thank all y'all for coming. I'd like to thank Jonath, T.O., Don Burr. I'd like to thank all y'all for coming.
Jonath, you got to get on there one day, my boy.
Yeah, we got some differences, we all love the Chicago Bears team. At the end of the day, we all want to win. But if we really want to win, we gotta address the issue. We gotta address the elephants in the room. We gotta fix some of the problems. But like I said, man, we're all Bears fans, and we'll figure out some ways. But like I said, make sure to like, subscribe, for my content, and make sure to hit that notification bell and stay tuned for more updates and videos that's going to be coming. But like I said, guys, thank y'all for coming. This is Kofi and my host, Chuck Full Damage Miller, with KO Sports Talk Podcast. And as always, Chicago up, Bear down. All right, guys. Peace.
That's why I'm trying to make a better way. Whole new crib in a better place. Get my people out the hood, we'll see better days. Tell a fan sorry, y'all let them wait. Shit up there like a Saturday.